everyone, and welcome to this bonus NASS episode. I am your host for this episode, El Jose.
I am your other guy, Jorge.
And I am Marie.
Oh, that beautiful R roll. Look at
There
that.
we go. All right. You got a little Puerto Rican in you rolling
Right?
that R, huh? Today, we will be continuing the series that we've been doing, where we have been covering some of our favorite horror movies dating back from 1980 all the way up to 2025. Now, the time frame we're going to be covering for this episode is going to be 95 to 99. If you haven't seen it and you're interested, make sure you turn into our channel where we've already done 80 to 84, 85 to 89, and 91 to 90, no, and 90 to 94. So here we go. We're continuing. We're going to finish off the 90s. To this day, what some consider one of the best eras that we've had. It has not been the same since the 90s. So let's finish that off. With no further ado, let's get right into it. And starting off for this time frame, I'm going to start with a movie that came out in 98, right towards the second half. It's a little movie directed by Robert Rodriguez, a little thing called The Faculty.
Yeah.
Now, in simplest terms, this is a movie. It's a high school is in the middle of an alien invasion, and the students who realize that is happening have to try to stop it. Very, very simple. This movie, come on. I actually just rewatched it like 2 weeks ago. Again, I was just like, what? This movie to this day, I still enjoy in all of its cheesy glory. And boy, does it have cheesy glory
Yeah.
in it. It's one of those genre bending movies, taking those like popular like teen movies that you would get like the 80s and 90s and kind of just throwing it into a horror setting. Basically, like take the Babysitter's Club and throw it into Invasion of the Body Snatchers
Yeah.
and then kind of see mix it in a bowl and like see what you get. And how can you not love that? If you hear that, like Babysitter's Club and Invasion of the Body Snatch, it's like, sign me up. If you love 80s and 90s movies, you are right there front row to kind of like watch that. For that reason alone, I just had to include it because it's one of those movies. This isn't gonna win awards. It's not a movie where you're like, oh my God, that acting performance or that the way the dialogue was or that story. No, it's pure glorious cheese from that era. And it to this day, I think if you're from that era, it holds up very well, brings back those memories. And besides like mixing that stuff and bringing in the tropes and the stereotypes in it, it even does little things like it has little references to like a horror movie that we referenced in the previous episode. So like it knows what it is, it knows what time it was created for, and it kind of incorporates all of that into a nice like delicious dessert that you can enjoy anytime you want to sit back, shut off your brain, and just enjoy it. And I gotta say, this is saying a lot for me to pick this movie
Yes.
with Josh Hartnett in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of Josh
I'm waiting for
Hartnett.
that.
And
I'm
I
waiting.
and the fact I selected this movie tells you a lot about it.
In
So
spite, in spite of Josh
in
Hartnett.
spite of
Yeah.
even he cannot ruin the funness that's in this movie.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad you picked this. This is like a classic. Yeah. This is definitely up there for like 90s movies that I gotta go back to all the time because it's just a fun movie. This is like the epitome of popcorn horror flicks, honestly. And it's such a different film for Rodriguez. Like I think you put this up against all his other movies, it doesn't feel the same. Like it's easy to forget that he directed this because it's just not the same. Like there's not he's a punchiness I feel to his movies
mhm.
that this didn't have. And that's not, and I don't mean that in a bad way either. Like I mean, like it's like he had a different lens on when he was doing this movie, and I enjoy this one so much. It's so fun. I don't hate Josh Hartnett like everyone else does, but I didn't love him either. Like I remember going back to this movie, and it's like every time I watch it, I think the same thing. It's like, who cut this boy's hair? What is that? What is this guy kidding, man? Like, you're not getting any girls like that. Somehow he did. And you mentioned like Babysitter's Club, but I question if you meant Breakfast Club because that's what I always
Sorry,
compared it
yeah,
to.
Breakfast Club. That's what I meant.
Yeah, yeah, because
Yeah.
like it plays
One of
with
the
like
clubs.
Yeah, it plays with all like your typical high school stereotypes of like jocks and popular kids and nerds and the drug dealer. That's it's the 90s, so that's a new one, you know. But yeah, and like at the end, you know, you get that twist of like the couples that form out of it and everything, which was nice and fun. Famke Janssen's in it as the hot teacher. That was always a standout for me, honestly.
Mm.
I was like, if she came on to me, I'm like, sorry guys, I'm gonna be an alien now. Peace out, deuces. It's all over.
It has an interesting cast. Besides Josh Hartnett, you mentioned it's got Famke Jensen. It's got Elijah Wood in there. It's got
John
uh,
Stewart. John Stewart's one of the
John,
teachers.
yeah, John Stewart, Salma Hayek in like a small
Yeah.
like nurse role. It's got the T-1000 in it. Like, it's got a decent cast in it.
Not Robert Patrick. The T-1000.
T1000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
That is
T-1000.
forever what his name is.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm glad you say that because you know how he's in Peacemaker.
Yeah.
I don't refer to him as whatever his character's name is. I was like, oh, the T-1000 is Peacemaker's dad.
Yeah, no, that's who he is. You can't kill a role like that and
Nah,
not be
man.
associated with it. Like absolutely, yeah.
No,
To this day, one of
that's
the best like
typecast.
unstoppable movie villains that
Yeah.
you will catch. So,
Hmm.
Murray, what are your thoughts?
You know, I haven't seen this movie since probably a sleepover I had with my friends in like junior high. I don't even barely remember anything about it. So I need to do a rewatch, clearly. I am not a Josh
Yeah.
Hartnett hater at all. So but you saying it, I was like, damn, you must really love this movie if you're gonna pick this one. So hey, I don't have much to say about it at this point because I haven't seen it since like a slumber party. And it was a long time ago since I was in junior high. I need to do a rewatch. I don't have much input to say because I don't remember it, but I love that you chose it. And I knew you loved this movie, but I didn't think this was going to be your choice. So that was a nice surprise.
It's also,
It's
in all reality, it's not a good moral movie. Because
no, not
because
at
when you
all.
think about like their solution to beating the alien and like how they have to figure out who's not an alien, it's like, oh man, this is not a good message for kids. This
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
that's where we get the reference I was referring to, where
Yeah,
it's just like
yeah.
this movie is aware of what it is. They even, in a way, you get a little bit. Last episode, I talked about Scream and Wes Craven's New Nightmare and how those got a little bit meta. This kind of gets into it. It recognizes what it is, and they even starts talking about the movies that influence this movie that you're watching, and we get a little reference to like The Thing within it. So like you could tell Robert Rodriguez was having fun with this one,
Yeah.
and this was kind of like a cheesy love letter to the horrors and the teen movies that came before it, and he just kind of threw it all in the pot, and he's like, let's have some fun.
See, that's why the 90s was so good. Because movies didn't have to have positive messaging, didn't need to have messages at all, didn't have to have political correctness. This is why the 90s was the best. And that's why the movies were good too. So I like
Yeah,
that there wasn't a good message. It's just a
Yeah.
pretty
movie.
much every character in this like sucked as a person. Like
Yeah.
pretty much every character sucked, and you're okay with that as you're watching it. You're like, all right, that's fine.
Except for Elijah Wood. Elijah Wood was a good kid. There was nothing wrong with him
Yeah, I guess so. I guess he is
because he's
nerd.
the nerd.
Uh,
'Cause he-
for the next one, let's go to you, George. What is your choice for your 95 to 99? What movie are you going to add to our watch list this episode?
Man, I wish I could give you guys something new on this one, but I'm kind of like taking a step back, and I'm gonna play to your. I know I'm playing to your heartstrings, Jose. I'm gonna pick an anthology piece, and it hasn't aged well. I'll tell you that right now. But I don't care. I don't care at all. It's Tales from the Hood. Tales from the Hood came out in
Oh.
1995. It's that timing. It's I watched it in the theaters when it came out, and there's just something about it that I still enjoy going back to every once in a while, and maybe that's what it is. Like it's just it fills that warmth in my heart of that I need sometimes of like my childhood. This does it, but it's also like it was ahead of its time. I feel in the sense of like nowadays we're always getting horror movies, especially for like the urban communities that speak to some like social injustice or something within like our social demographic nowadays. And this hit on all those things, whether it was racism with cops or abuse in the household, gang violence and stuff like that. Like it touches on all those things, and even just like the systemic racism kind of things. So it's all those stuff is in there in the midst of a horror film. But my favorite part of the whole thing is that, like, you would like this, Marie, is the cohesiveness of it. Every
Mm.
little story is being told by one person to these group of hoodlums. And so you get to have that connection between all of it. I love when there's a through line to everything. And our person who is telling the story is Clarence Williams III. People probably don't know about him anymore. He's passed a long time ago. But this guy's another one of those actors where, like, when you saw him, like, he exude evilness so well because he had that face for it. And I just love how he talked in the movie because, like, the kids get their kids with these thug members. They're like, yo, man, we're here for the shit. And he's like, oh, you want the shit? Oh, yes, I have the shit. I just love it. And like it gets repeated so many times. Like for me, that was the most special way to say the word shit growing up that I latched onto that for a long time. Like nowadays we got the guy from The Wire and it's always like shit. That's the new shit. But for me,
Yeah.
it was this guy. It was always just like, yes, I've heard of the shit. You know?
Yeah. Well, because he had that gap in
The
his
guy,
cheek, so you
yeah.
have a little bit of the lips
Yes.
to it.
Yeah. But like he's such a like an odd, creepy guy. And all I can think to myself, it's like if I was these drug dealing thugs, I'm like, this guy is weird. And granted, one of them is like that. There's one guy in the group who's true black, and he's just like, I don't think we should go in here. He's like, I think we gotta go. And then he's like, man, you a pussy. Which gave me to the conclusion that I believe that thugs or like hood dudes in movies are the equivalent, no offense, Marie, but to the white person who doesn't run. Because for some
Okay.
reason they're like machismo or whatever keeps them from doing that. They're like, nah, I ain't afraid of shit. I got a gun. I'm gonna do this. Typical black person runs.
Mm.
Typical black person's like, I can't be here for this. This is bad. We got to go. You know?
Yeah.
But the thug, if you become a thug, you're going down a bad path, all right? You're gonna die. And not because of gang violence, because the monster's gonna get you and your machismo won't let you run. All right. That's what this movie taught me. Don't become a gangbanger.
See that one has a message. Unlike the
Yeah.
faculty, there's a very good message to be learned.
Yeah,
I
no,
feel for
and
you.
every segment does have like a message, but like it doesn't feel heavy like nowadays movies, even though it is very blatant. They're still really fun and everything. David Allen Greer's in one of them, which I totally forget at times, even though I watch it like every once in a while. And like he plays someone you wouldn't expect. Like the type of person he is, it's out of character for him. Like we're used to him being this fun guy. He's not fun. I'm gonna be really good and not describe anything in these things except for this one thing, and that he gets into a fight scene, and the way he fights is so ridiculous. It makes no sense. Jose, how do you punch someone in the face? Do you use one of these? A nice curled up fist? Not David Allen Greer, all right? He gives you the ha ha. He gives you... It's so random of a way to fight, and just it's one of my favorite things. It's not a good scene in how it is done, but I don't care. I just love seeing him beat up a whole family. It was just like the
Wait,
funniest thing, and it's not supposed to be. But because it's him, I dare you to watch this scene and not laugh, all right? It's just really freaking good to seeing him beat up on a whole family, and he's unstoppable. He's like a tornado of fists,
Palm fighting.
but palms.
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 My question is this, does he like beat up a woman in this scene? A family? Is it a woman too?
Yeah, it's actually the
Okay.
another point. Paula J. Parker from Friday, who was Felicia, right? Anyone who's
Y-
seen Friday. So yeah, she's such like a skanky hood rat in that movie. Her
Mhm.
introduction in this movie is her leg. That's what we first see of her, is just her leg in a robe. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot how hot she was. It was, I was like, it's like a little reminder. It's like, oh damn, the
Hello, Felicia.
hotness. Shit.
A little
Yeah. I was like, what were you freaking pining over the other girl for? You got a hot girlfriend, dude. You gotta recognize. But I got distracted by that for like a hot second.
Okay.
I was like, I'm
Well,
married. Stop it. Stop.
I'm wondering if there was some like rule. I don't know. Like maybe they didn't want to show a man closed fist punching a woman in a movie, and it's just like a little bit different if it's palming. I don't
I
know.
don't
Like
know.
maybe there's like some
It
sort of
looked, the thing is, it looked like it hurt. It looked like it knocked her on
yeah.
the
It would.
ground.
It would hurt.
Here's
It
the
would
thing.
hurt.
Growing up with like a dad who did martial arts and taught me shit, this is way hard. It's gonna hurt a lot more than this.
Well, now we
This
know
is
why he's using it.
this is a death move, all right?
Exactly. Well, now
This
you
you do
know.
this, you at someone's nose, they're done. They're done, all right?
Now we know he's trained.
Yeah, like he's
Yeah.
trying to do some
So there you
damage.
go. That answers your question. It's not
Mm,
silly or he knew he was doing some
It's
martial
just
arts shit.
movie wise, it's silly,
mm. So
but yeah, no, it's really good.
this is one I was considering to put on there because I like anthology. I remember enjoying it as a kid. But one of the reasons I put it aside is because I was like, I don't feel like this holds up. Faculty is one of my favorites, and I know that holds up better. But this was in my running for this actor,
Yeah.
so I think that's a great pick.
I'm not
Marie,
surprised that you took that you would have taken it off because if you get to the ending it feels like they ran out of a budget. So I admit,
because
like you're gonna watch this and be like, okay, there's some mileage here on this one.
that hood ain't what it used to be.
No.
Marie, I'm assuming I don't think you've seen it by your reaction.
Well, George already knew in the beginning I probably didn't when he said Maria like it because it has a cohesiveness. So you can assume I haven't watched it, but let me tell you why I haven't watched it, not just because I'm a little white girl. It's because okay, the majority of the horror movies I watched when I was younger, before I had my own money to rent my own things, were on TV because I was kind of sheltered in the way of watching horror movies. Like I was a lot later of a bloomer to horror than you guys. I had to watch movies on TV mostly. I live in Canada. Tales from the Hood wasn't regularly playing in Canada. I'll just say that. So I'm late watching it. All right. But not that I've never been interested in watching it. It's just like I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. But the palms are making me, and I guess the leg is making me want to watch it. Palm and legs. That's what does it
Yeah,
for me.
I mean that's the only reason you should be palming those legs. That's what should be happening. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Oh, man.
All right, Marie, take us home. What is
Hey,
your pick for your 95 to 99 movie?
I wonder what it could be. No, first I just want to say from 95 to 99, there were a lot of bangers. Okay. There were so many excellent horror movies. Like this was like the chunk of years where this is like I love this one. I love this one. I love this one. But of course, there's two standout favorites that I could have chosen out of this. Okay. What are they? Halloween H2O, obviously, 1998.
Yeah.
But you know what? I have a whole episode that I did with my friend Kevin about Halloween H2O where we both ended up like, I don't want to out Kevin as like a crier. He's not. He was just like getting emotional. He teared up a little bit. Okay. We both were tearing up. So if you want to see how the hell Halloween H2O could make people tear up and get emotional, go back to Replay's All playlist, watch that
I
episode
mean,
where
it's in
we
the title, H2O.
Right? Water is afoot here.
so go watch that because I would talk about that a lot and I love that movie. It's my favorite of the Halloween franchise. Anywho, my favorite of course has to be the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
Okay, it
Yeah.
has to be. And and it's good because George does not like this movie. He's not into it. And both these boys have heard me talk about this movie so much that if you guys want to just like go, I'll just talk about it by myself because I feel bad talking to you and I'm glad you saved me for last. So you take a snooze, go make some food. You don't have to listen to me. Yeah, see you later. Okay, so the Blair Witch Project. The Blair Witch Project.
2 hours
Um,
later.
yeah, 2 hours later, I'm still going on about it. It started my love, obviously, for found footage horror, which is my favorite horror genre and one of my favorite movie genres in general. Again, I saw a bit of it on TV for the first time when I first saw it, and it was the tent scene with the little kids outside the tent, like that. And I remember being petrified by that. And then I watched it later on in life, and I just always just ever since then been obsessed with found footage horror. The simplicity of the movie, again, if they're in that confined, intimate setting, it's just the three people in the cast after they do the interviews. And that's like my jam. In the forest, also my jam. In the fall time, also my jam. Like it's all just like my jam in a little, and I want to dig it in like in a spoon and make some PBJ with that jam and lick the spoon off. That's how much I just this movie. Um, I love how it is like 95% improv. The cast didn't know what the other cast was going to do or what they were going to say, how they were going to react. I'm watching on Instagram right now, Mike from Michael C. Williams from the Blair Witch Project, Mike, he is doing a whole daily series all October of the behind the scenes. And the movie itself isn't just why I love it, it's the making of it and the behind the scenes, which makes it a phenomenon to me. It's just absolutely amazing. And the most like the other actors didn't know what the other ones were going to do, how they were going to react. They had to have like a code word where they broke character. If they were like, whoa, was everything okay? They didn't know. The directors had instructions planted around or that each character would have to find every day to go find, okay, what are we doing today? I don't know. And it'll be like, act this way. Don't do what Heather says, no matter what she says. So it's like they're all learning in time, in real time, what's going on, which is just brilliant to me. And every day the production crew fed them less and less and less so that they would get irritable. Like that was all part of it. So they didn't know what was going to happen really. They didn't know how the other people were going to react. It all being improv is so amazing. And the marketing behind it was so amazing. We can't that which can never be replicated again with the internet and being the way it is now. You can never replicate this movie again because everyone thought it was not everyone, but like a lot of people thought it was real because there was no way to find out if these people were they couldn't be like, oh, this guy up on Instagram and Facebook and oh he's just an actor. Like you couldn't do that. They had a whole website dedicated to them being missing people. They had a whole website dedicated to the lore of Blair Witch and people thought it was real. Like it's more than a movie, it's a phenomenon. And this created a whole thing for me where it's like less is more. I love that you don't see the Blair Witch. I love that it's slow paced and very just like tense the whole time. I love that it's what you're afraid of is in your imagination. It is a perfect goddamn movie to me. And it's like a perfect experience. And I cannot, I mean, it's branded on my body forever. And I would get 1,000 of these little stick guys because I adore this film because it's so much more than just a movie.
Because you are the Blair Witch.
Yeah, I'm just promoting myself here. Like, go watch it because I get royalties. So, that's why I'm promoting it. But yeah, I adore it. It's my baby.
I was this. I'm not a fan of the movie at all. I did try a rewatch and I didn't settle on it. But I gotta give a respect where respect is due. I do say I respect the way they went about it, making it. You spoke a little bit on the marketing, and I think I did an episode, one of our earlier episodes with like Chuck and Dan, where we talked about movie marketing and some of the best ways that has been done, and that was featured in that episode because it was so well done that it had a lot of people believing that it was real. In there now we see a lot of this like where they show clips of the movie theater and it looks like everyone's freaking out and they're like, "Oh my God, I don't believe those anymore." But I remember at that time that people were just like, "No, no." I remember people telling me like, "No, this was real. Like they found that and like people died." So like I gotta respect that. And another thing like I could take from it is remember when it came out, even though I didn't like the movie when I saw it, it made me believe like I can do that. I remember after I watched it, I was like, wait, I we gotta get a camcorder. We can do
Yeah.
that. And I remember going to like the local cemetery and just grabbing a camera and trying to improv a movie and sneaking into this little like mausoleum thing where we had to like crawl through like a little thing and now who knows what happened in there. By the judgment, I we probably should not have been in there at all.
Yeah,
Like,
because of the homeless people that are probably in
yeah, we were
there.
just like went in there, took some picture, was like, maybe we shouldn't be in here. But anyway, it gave that movie being in high school and always wanting to like act and all that stuff and it things weren't as accessible as they are now where literally anyone with an Android or an iPhone could literally make a
Yeah.
movie because things have got you can edit it on your phone. That wasn't like that before. We're still with the camcorders at that time.
Yeah.
This movie made us believe like we can make a horror movie. Like we can go out and do this. So I have to give that movie that it did create a sense of belief by young creatives and young horror fans of like, hey, we can accomplish that. We can try to do it and give it and give that avenue to kind of release that creativity and try it. What we did not come out good at all, but it felt damn good doing it in that moment. And I can credit Blair Witch
Uh,
Project with that.
Jose, you say it may not have been good, but you know what? Till this day, I still, because I wasn't there for that day when you guys did that. I think it was like you, Mario, and Yasser or Marcel. I can't remember who the third person
Marcel.
was,
Yeah.
but I remember a specific line because I remember you guys showed it to me. And it's like, look what we did. And I was like, okay, I can't wait to see this. And there's a moment where like so you guys see something like you're trying to make it like feel like something's happening. One of you's like, wait, you see that? The tubing. You're like, the tubing. It's so random. It's like tubing. You remember, you know what I'm talking about.
It was random tubing there. So we're like, I forgot who it is. Someone was like just trying to figure out what to say. We're
Yeah.
like trying to create lore out of nowhere. We're like, the tubing. You know what the tubing means, right?
Yeah. It's like the most randomest shit. But
Tubing.
it
Oh
was
man.
funny. It was so freaking funny. And like I remember that. Like that stood out to me for like the most like stupidest shit. But yeah, like that movie was it was inspirational in that point. Like we
I gotta mention the other thing that stood out because it still pops in my head is we were still in high school. We hadn't developed our improv skills yet. We were scripted actors. So when you're trying to improv an entire movie and try to think of new lines, the one line that got repeated so many times and we watched it after like, wow, we said that a lot was what the hell? What the hell? What
For
the
Yeah.
no
hell?
reason.
Yeah. Anytime something was like, what the hell? Did you see that? What the hell? So many times we're like, okay, I guess we have a favorite line.
It's the name of the movie right there. That's
What the hell?
yeah, yeah, like it's true. I'm not a fan of the Blair Witch movie or series. But again, we talk about timing, right? I first watched that movie in my cousin's apartment at my first time also getting drunk, like obliterated drunk. So I'm probably like 15, 16 years old or whatever. And I was partying with neo-Nazi dudes who were making me do like the hail sign and everything. And yeah, I was the only dark person there. I was all right. And the only reason nothing bad happened to me is because I wasn't like everyone else. Because I was a hardworking American who had a job and paid bills and everything. They were like,
And you're
"You're,"
doing the sign, so
and you're like, "You're a good." They're like, "You're a good one." And I was like, "Yeah, all right. Throw back some shots and let's survive this night." And then my and then my cousin's like, "Hey, let's watch the Blair Witch Project." I was like, "Cool, I love horror. That'll take my mind off of whatever else is happening here." And I just remember hating that movie so much. But granted, probably not the best atmosphere
yeah,
to
bad
watch the movie.
association.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I watched it again later on within that year, and I've watched it again within my adulthood. And no matter how many times I watch that movie, more and more I feel like this is such a bad movie. I hate this movie so much. Why is this happening to me? It's like I'm doing this to myself. Do I hate myself? But I can't help but agree with everything else that you both have said, where it's just like it's an undeniable force of a phenomenon where it's just like, look what they did. Look what they pulled
yeah,
off, you know? And what I one of the things that I did like about it at that time is that no other movie looked like that. You
yeah,
know, like that's the thing that I think that made me gravitate to that movie. You know, it wasn't clean. It had uber grit because they were using like a freaking handy cam, you know,
yeah,
but that gave it charm. And I can admit that. Like I remember watching the sequel that was fully produced and everything, and that was clean. It was
yeah.
what was Blair Witch something or whatever. I don't remember what the hell it was called.
There's like the continuation, also a remake. So I don't
Season
know.
of
Yeah,
the Witch.
was that?
No, it's kidding.
But I think it was like Book of the Witch actually. I think it was called wasn't it called like Book of the
Yeah, yeah,
Witch?
something like
Yeah.
that.
And I remember watching that and I was like, all right, this is trying to be a better horror film in the sense of a classic horror film, but that was worse than the original
Yeah,
Blair Witch. And I was like, wow, this actually makes me appreciate what the hell they were doing over there. At least they were trying something new, and that's the thing I gotta
hmm
give it. The attempt to do something different and new. And that's what's beautiful about horror. Horror movies, you don't need much. All you need is a camera and some people willing to be afraid, and you're good to go. So
hmm
I gotta give its laurels for that. I gotta give a lot of praise for that, despite me not enjoying the movie for what it is. I recognize greatness when greatness happens.
Yeah, to me, it's the making of it that makes it so special. The performances are amazing, especially since no one knew what the hell was going on. And I like that it inspired you, Jose. And George, yeah, that's a horrible. association with that movie. Just terrible. It's not, also definitely not a drunk movie. And
No, no, it's
and
not. It felt
and
like it took 10
no,
hours to watch.
yeah, and maybe because you made a good point. You said, "Why am I doing this to myself? I hate that I'm doing this to myself. I hate myself for watching this." Like, but I already hate myself, so maybe that's why I like it so much.
Oh, no.
Hey, that's some horror for you. But yeah, I'll still be your friend, George, even though you hate it, and I'll still be your friend, Jose, even though you don't like it. But to me, it's a masterpiece, and always will be.
Like I said, it definitely earns and deserves its placement in horror list and horror times because it was an innovator in it. So,
Yes.
you know, we've mentioned Scream before in the last episode as it was a reinvigorator of horror movies and it kind of really went like meta in its style. This in its own right kind of accomplished the same thing. It was a reinvigorator of horror and an innovator. And look at where we are now, where every other week there's a new found footage movie and all that stuff. And just kind of, this
Yeah.
wasn't the first found footage movie, but it was the one that really gave it the mass appeal, I believe.
Yeah, it's the godfather
Yeah.
of found footage movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
All right. With that being said, that brings us to the end of our 95 to 99 movies. I want to thank those of you who joined us for this bonus NASS episode where we again covered 95 to 99. If you enjoyed this episode or you want to catch any of our previous episodes, such as the entire 80s and the early 90s episode that we did, which are going to be on our channel, as well as future episodes, as we're going to start getting into the 2000s for our movies next. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button if you want to be alerted when our future episodes drop. If you didn't enjoy this episode, well, F you. Nah, I'm kidding.
Ooh.
If you didn't enjoy this episode, well, maybe one of the other ones will do a trick. You can find our show on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever podcasts are found. And if you love our amazing personalities or you just want to hate watch us, you can find us at Not a Strong Start on all major social media platforms. Me personally, you can find me at This Is Mi Nombre on Instagram.
And you can follow me at Nicolopoulos.
And you can follow me at underscore it's just me, Marie underscore.
And as always, we might not always have a strong start, but we guarantee to maybe sometimes possibly have a strong finish. Until next time, make sure to join us for 2000 to 2004.